Hi everybody, this is Pam at the Paper Outpost. Hey, have you thought about getting a hold of some old papers, some vintage ephemera, papers from yesteryear and days gone by? Maybe you were interested in documents or in some old receipts or maybe some old handwritten letters, all sorts of things, ledger papers, things like that. But as you're looking around, you find that it's hard to find. Maybe you can't find it in your local area, or when you do find it, it may be out of your price range. I know how that feels, and I have been there, so I'm going to come up with the next best thing that I thought might help in these certain circumstances. Now, what I did was I created some vintage ephemera digital kits where I went ahead and I scanned a lot of my vintage ephemera and I made multiple kits, and they all contain different things. And I wanted to show you a walkthrough through the first kit and show you some ways that you can potentially use these as embellishments or adornments in your journals. They're very easy to use. And the nice thing about the ones that you print out from your own computer is that you can print them out multiple times, and you can also freely and creatively, abandonedly tear them up and make collage out of them and do all sorts of things because you never actually destroy the original piece. So let's take a peek and see what an example of a kit might look like. My goal was to put a little bit of variety in each kit. So vintage ephemera digital kit, these are all found on my Etsy store, link down below. You get some old envelopes, and I tried to put ones where I could see dates on them so you get a feel for, these are like 1923, 1928. Maybe 1919 on that one. Very old, multiple colors, stamps on, kind of cool. And this one is a quitclaim deed from 1944. Here's a very old handwritten piece of document from 1832. And then here is an old receipt from 1850. So you're going to get a nice variety in each collection. In this collection, you also get this receipt from 1877, a beautiful pink color, and an 1890 receipt from Messrs. Gates and Sons. I think the first one is a exchange stables, yeah. And then you're going to get some ledger in this particular one. This is from 1862, and this is the actual aging on the original piece, which is kind of neat. So you can see where actual aging occurs. As you can see, it occurs in the corners, things like that. A good thing to notice. And then some handwritten letters. And this one is from 1877. And here's another old one. But you can cut these out or print them out, and you can also change their sizes. So you can adapt them to however big you want them to be, which is kind of fun. You do that with your printer and your computer. And what I wanted to show you for an example was how you can use some of these in your journals. So what I did was I cut these three out and I just had some fun with them. So here's my example of fun with them. All right, here on the right, I made them into little side pockets, and I just inked around them and glued them down, and now they hold these cute little journal cards. Isn't that cute? And you can also make them as standalones. In other words, they can be removed completely. Now this one I backed with some eco-dyed paper, and I just stuck a little word or phrase on there for interest and inked it up a little bit, but you could leave this completely blank. You could put lines on it, things like that. And that looks really cool. So it's kind of something that could be a lot of fun and very interesting for other people to explore. Okay, so here's another example of the ledger sheet. Let me just show you that sheet again. The ledger sheet looked like this from the kit, but I took it out, or cut it out, very simply, and I inked it up and I scrunched it up, and then I ran over with some daubers lightly to emphasize the folds. Hi birdies, in the they always love to chat, in the inks. So the peaks will pick up the ink dauber as you run it over lightly, and you can do that to both sides. I also made where is that? I want to show you that. Hang on, hold your breath, it's right here somewhere. Okay, yeah, I got it. All right, I made a handmade line stamp, and I wanted to show you what that looked like. So it's very basic design. It's basically rubber bands around a stamping block, and I just took the ink pad and I lightly rubbed over the top, so I only got the rubber bands, and then I went doot, 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 and this all came from one ink stamp. I inked it, and then I went doot, 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 and that's what I got. So I only happened to have the fat ones around me at the time, but if you grab thinner ones, you'll get thinner lines too. So that's a nice and easy way that you can make your own line stamp, and you don't have to go on eBay or shop for it or Amazon or anything. And so anyway, I just did some stenciling on the back, because these will be white on the back. So if you want to put something on the back, you can decorate them or leave them blank totally as is. But that's kind of a cool thing for somebody to come across in their exploration of their journal. So those are some ideas that you can do, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. As we know, creative ones, we can just go to town and come up with a million ideas. But let me give you a quick little guide through some of the other kits so you have an idea of what is in my Etsy shop, so you can actually see it. And here is digital kit number 2 of vintage ephemera. And I'm just going to show you, this is from 1918, an insurance policy, and also Maine Railroad from 1846, some type of a receipt or a check. And then we have some prescriptions. Okay. Peacock brown grounds. That sounds tasty, huh? But beautiful colors on those. Here is some hand printed music. I thought that was just lovely. As I said, I try to put a nice variety in here. I did put some ledger in here. This is a different one from 1861. A lot of people love to use ledger, so we love to put in some ledger. And here is an envelope and the letter that came with it. So you could actually cut this out and use this as a pocket and cut the letter out and tuck the letter in as well. I think I actually did that. Let me see if I can show you quick. Oh, I did. Here we go. So here it is. See this? There's the envelope and there's the ledger. Now I just shrunk it down a little bit so it would fit. So you can make these big or small, as you can see. Isn't that cute? So cute, right? Okay. So there's another example of how you can use it. So that was digital kit number 2, vintage ephemera digital kit number 2. And let's take a look at Digital. Okay, these are all tongue twisters, I'm absolutely certain. Okay, so here's vintage ephemera digital kit number 3. And this is from Fancy Groceries and Confectionery. And this was from 1888 something. Very old, but it's a handwritten letter. And that's kind of cool. And then here are some more envelope fronts. Different colors, different dates, different styles. Allegheny College. These are some more envelopes and a handwritten letter. And I just want to tell you about this one. It's kind of an interesting story, that this one from 1916, apparently they used to use very tiny envelopes. And it looks like a half of an envelope, but that was the whole envelope. And this little letter, if you can see the fold, actually fit inside that envelope. So this is the actual letter from 1916. Dear Elmer, it has been a long time. And that went inside of here. So I thought that would be neat to have that little set. Now here is a blue ledger from 1859. Just some beautiful calligraphy and writing on there. And here are some receipts. So these are from 1894 and 1896. So you can just see the different things that they used to sell and the prices for them and the things that people do back then. It was a nice peek back into time. It's kind of fun. And I think it's a little bit of a history lesson and maybe can get people curious about days gone by. And I just love that. So, okay, here's the next one. This is Victorian trading cards. Or trade cards, sorry, but these are the way that people used to advertise way back when. They would send these out, and they had beautiful images on them, but they, as you can see, were for Acme soap, Star baking powder, Forest Flower Cologne, Ivers Pond and Piano Company. So very interesting, and they would collect them in scrapbooks. I think probably that's where the original scrapbooks may have started, or at least it became very popular back in the Victorian times. So you're going to get a whole bunch of these, all sorts of different ones, all sorts of different themes. And you can make these bigger or smaller depending on your needs. So you're not stuck with one size or anything. You can change it. I usually try and do fit to size or shrink to size. And that'll put the entire image inside your border so nothing gets cut off. But you can do 4x6, 5x7, small 2x3, smaller or larger. And this is really cool. The Tulip Soap Company. Tulip Soap Company used to put out the most beautiful images from nature. And I just think they're absolutely stunning. And I love those. Here's one, the Hatter. Looks like Dr. Zhivago scene, doesn't it? Okay, here's some Northern American birds for a tea and coffee importer. And this is so cute. Peabody, something French. And here is Importers of Tea and Coffee, Butterflies of America. And that was the Victorian trade cards. So if you have an interest in those are available for you to download anytime. And then we have this little segue into, I call this Nature's Phrases and Wings. And this is a compilation of, this is an old public domain picture that I really think is beautiful. And so I enlarged it and I put it as the background. And then I put some phrases related to nature all throughout it. So you can tear these out and use at will. And they are just very handy, and they're kind of pretty because they have the soft nature colors already behind them. But let's say you didn't want all those flowery stuff behind it. I made just a gentle green one, greenish white one, so that if you just wanted to tear out some words and put them in your nature journal, you would have the ability to do that. And here I made some what I'm calling center of your signature pages, and I want to show you what you can do with these. So basically, if you get the center of a signature, sometimes it's fun to have an extra special page there. And so this page is designed to be folded in half so that you can have a really cool picture on this side or a really cool picture on this side. It's not mandatory to put this in the center of your journal, but you could definitely do that for some eye appeal. Now, I have one of these that I have zhuzhed up a little bit so you can kind of see what you can do with it. So I inked around the edges and I put some liquid pearls and some stickles on it, and I tore some words from that sheet and I put it here. I decorated the corners, making it look like little rivets. So you can do some fun things with these. You're not limited to just the picture. You can play with them. They are yours to play with. So yep, there's this one. Oh, I did that one. And there's that one. Okay, so different kinds of wings. And then there's also this big one, which you can use. You can either use as is, as a center page, or you can use it as a background, or you can also cut these little guys out individually, fussy cut them out and glue them anywhere you would like. You can make this entire picture big or small, but I thought it was a very beautiful old antique image that came, I believe that's in the biodiversity library. So I just wanted to put together some collections because I know it makes it easier sometimes for folks if everything is in one spot. But you can certainly find a lot of these beautiful images yourself if you want to dig through the public domain or the biodiversity Heritage Library or Pinterest if you're looking for very old pictures and make your own collections. But either way, I suggest that you go for it because there's some beautiful imagery out there, and it can be used, and I just think it's absolutely lovely. Here's one, the last kit that I have up right now, but there's going to be more kits coming, so hold your breath. But the Victorian calling cards, and I just have this amazing collection of Victorian calling cards. And calling cards are, they were a social thing done actually through the ages, but they became very popularized in these beautiful examples in the Victorian era, where you would leave a little card if you came over to visit someone. If they were home, you would give the card to them. If they were not home, you would just tuck it in their door or give it to the person who answered the door. But it was a way of letting somebody know that you thought of them. And so what I did was I copied 50 of these because they had so many different beautiful images on them that I just really wanted to give you a nice variety. And also the names are amazing. Minnie, Glendora, you know, there's just a lot of the old-fashioned names. Letta, Emma, Jenny, Viola, Eliza. I mean, they're just a hoot to look back on and see who was visiting who. See, even they had some small ones for businesses as well. And some Mr. and Mrs. ones. Just lovely. And I think there's even one more page. Yeah, one more page of these. So you get quite a few in there. All these sets are 5 pages each, and I put as much on the pages as I can get so that you can get a good deal on all of this. So if you are inspired to use some old papers, some vintage ephemera, but are having a hard time getting a hold of them, or perhaps they're a little bit too pricey to buy the originals, or you get the original, but then you can't imagine giving up the original, or you can't imagine tearing it up. You can either copy, if you have an original yourself, just copy them and you can tear those up. But if you don't have easy access to that, this may be your ticket. So I hope you come and explore what I've put into my shop. There's several digital kits. What I did was I went ahead and I just put some in my shop to see what would happen. I didn't make a big announcement and I didn't share it. I've been kind of just leaking it out slowly to see the response, and the response has been very good. So I think I'm going to go ahead and make more of these. I'm going to try to make them very diverse and different, and make them interesting for you so that you can get something different from every kit. So if you like this video, please click the notification bell down below if you'd like to get more notified of any video that I have coming out that will make that magic happen. Please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to get your free checklist. There's a link below in my description box for you to get a free checklist of journal supplies, basic and advanced. This is something that I've compiled over the years. It's about 7 to 8 pages long, and I found it invaluable as a checklist. And as I was going out in the world, collecting things, just trying to remind myself, oh yeah, that would go great in a journal. Oh yeah, that would go great in a journal. Don't forget to grab those the next time you see them at the thrift store. Don't forget to grab those the next time you're at the garage sale or the estate sale or where have you, or Aunt Sally's house. And also in combination with that, you're going to get a copy of the note from the bookmaker that I put in the front of all of my journals, and you're certainly welcome to copy that off and tuck that into your journals. Or it also comes in a format where you can change the words, change the size, and so it gives you a lot of flexibility there. Also, check out my Amazon store for any of my favorite tools and supplies. Links down below. You can find my videos. I put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 a.m. So that's the time I finally figured out how to schedule videos to come out. I'm slowly getting there, little bit by little bit here. So hopefully that's more of a regular schedule for everybody, so at least you can know what to expect and when it's coming. So videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, and then I do my podcasts on Tuesday and Thursday. And my podcast, that's new material, new information. It's not the audios of my videos on YouTube. It is new content for you to explore if you're really into junk journaling and you're just out walking the dog, maybe grocery shopping, cooking dinner, something like that where you're occupied. So listening might be more advantageous than watching a YouTube video. So it's an option for you. And I've got some exciting things coming up on the podcast. So stay tuned. And you can find the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, plus about 8 other options. But if you don't have any of those, you can always just go to anchor.fm, and the link is down below, and you can listen to the podcast just on your computer, on your tablet, on your iPhone, or on your smartphone. You don't need any special service or anything like that. So, and it is free. What else can I tell you? I am also found on Instagram, Etsy, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Facebook group. Come and check out the fun Facebook group. It's free. It's fun. We have a blast. It's very social. Everybody is very engaged in creating and making and helping each other. And it's a very low stress environment. You're welcome to come and lurk and just check it out. We do weekly and monthly challenges for inspiration for everybody. Nobody's obligated to do so. And if you want to make something a little bit different than the challenge, that's totally fine. I just want everybody to have some fun and create a whole bunch of stuff. And because I know there's great joy in that, and I want everybody to experience that. So come on over and check out the Facebook group. You find it by going to my Facebook page, the Paper Outpost, and then there's a link on there that says visit the group or join the group. Click on that and then join the group, and then you'll be in before you know it, having fun, kicking up your heels with the rest of us. A great resource too. I have learned so much from the people in my Facebook group. It's astounding. I had no idea the wealth of knowledge and information that's there. And sometimes, it's not necessarily from a very seasoned crafter. It's somebody who just said, hey, I just tried something this way and here's my result, And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. What a great idea. Or you'll make something and somebody say, oh my gosh, that's so super. I did something similar and I just did this and this and this. And it will just, the sparks of imagination will fly. So come and check that out. Also, always remember that fun fun can be simple and create with reckless abandon, everybody. Excuse me, apparently I'm losing my voice with my reckless abandon. But there's more coming at you. I've got tons of material coming your way. I've got lots of ideas for videos. I'm so thankful for you guys, for all your support and your encouragement, because it's your passion that drives my passion. So thank you very much for all the kind words. And I get a little choked up here. Okay. All right. So let's get on to it, and let's go do some crafting and have some fun. And no matter what you do, remember, you don't have to spend a ton of money in order to have fun crafting. Take a look around, shop at home first. You see what can be used for what. If you don't have inks and dyes, look at shoe polish and makeup. Look at junk mail. Junk mail is a beautiful resource that comes to your door every day. Okay, so always there are supplies around you. I want you to see the universe as abundant. It is everywhere for you. So take advantage of it. It comes right to you in so many different ways. And when you want to have some fun and kick back your heels, just come on and join me on the videos here, or in the podcast, or in the Facebook group. We'll have lots of fun together, I promise. All right, take care, everyone. You have a happy day. And I'll see you back soon. Take care. Bye-bye.